Chapter 1. The Slave Market of Zorath 9. The neon lights of the Zorath 9 bazaar pulsed in the thick, humid air, casting eerie reflections on the metallic stalls where merchants hawked their wares. Among the exotic spices, stolen relics, and illegal tech, the most disturbing trade was that of living beings. Captain Elias Varrow adjusted the breather mask over his face, his boots clicking against the permacrete as he navigated the crowded market. He wasn't here to buy. He was here to forget. After losing his crew in a botched smuggling run, he had spent the last of his credits on cheap synth whiskey, drowning his guilt. But fate had other plans. A commotion near the auction block caught his attention. A group of armored slavers dragged a slender humanoid figure onto the platform. Her skin was a deep cerulean, her long silver hair matted with grime, and her luminous violet eyes burned with defiance. What struck Elias most, however, was the small child clinging to her leg, a tiny boy with the same striking eyes, trembling in fear. Lot 47. A Xyrian female, prime breeding age, and her offspring. The auctioneer barked. Bidding starts at 500 credits. Elias' stomach twisted. He had seen slavery before, but never a mother and child sold like livestock. Chapter 2. A Deal with the Devil. The bidding climbed rapidly. A hulking Varaxian merchant, known for his brutal gladiator pits, raised his hand. 1,200 credits. Elias acted before he could think. 1,500. The crowd murmured. The Varaxians snarled but didn't counter. Elias barely had 2,000 credits to his name, enough for fuel, food, or a one-way ticket off this rock. But as the slavers shoved the woman and child toward him, he knew he couldn't leave them. "You own us now," the Xyrian woman said, her voice soft but edged with steel. "What will you do with us?" Elias exhaled. "I'm setting you free." Her eyes widened. "Why?" "Because no one deserves this." She studied him, then whispered something in her child's ear. The boy clung tighter to her, but she gently pried him loose and knelt before Elias. "If you mean what you say, take my son. Protect him." "But I must go back." Elias frowned. "Back? To them? My mate is still imprisoned. If I escape, they will kill him." Her voice broke. "Take my child. His name is Kale. Keep him safe. And if you ever find a Xyrian named Vera, tell him I tried." Before Elias could argue, she pressed a small crystal into his palm, a data chip, then turned and vanished into the crowd. Chapter 3. A Dangerous Promise. Elias stood frozen, holding the boy's tiny hand. Kale sniffled but didn't cry. "Mama will come back." Elias swallowed hard. "Yeah, kid. She will." But he knew the truth. She wouldn't. Back on his battered freighter, the Star Moth, Elias accessed the data chip. It contained coordinates, a Xyrian resistance outpost, and a message. "If you are hearing this, I am dead. My son is the last of our bloodline. The slavers hunt us for our ability to manipulate energy. Protect him. And if you can, free my people." Elias rubbed his temples. He was a smuggler, not a hero. But as Kale slept curled in his bunk, clutching a scrap of his mother's torn cloak, Elias made a decision. He would find Vera. He would free the Xyrians. And he would make sure Kale's mother hadn't died in vain. Chapter 4. The Rescue Mission. Tracking Vera led Elias to the Black Maw, a maximum security prison orbiting a dying star. Posing as a bounty hunter, he infiltrated the facility, using stolen clearance codes to reach the high-security wing. There in a force-shielded cell was Vera, tall, scarred, his violet eyes blazing with fury. "Who are you?" Elias activated the hollow message from Kale's mother. The moment Vera saw her face, his knees buckled. "Lysara. She sacrificed herself to save your son," Elias said. "I promised her I'd free you." Vera's fists clenched. "Then we destroy them all." Chapter 5, The Final Battle. The prison break turned into a full-scale riot. Xyrian prisoners, long suppressed, unleashed their latent energy-manipulating abilities, overloading the facility's systems. Elias, Vera, and Kale fought their way to a stolen cruiser, barely escaping as the black maw exploded behind them. Back on the Star Moth, Vera cradled Kale, whispering in their native tongue. Then he turned to Elias. "You saved my son. You freed my people. I owe you everything." Elias shook his head. "I just did what was right." Vera's gaze lingered. "Perhaps, but you are more than you believe." Epilogue: A new family. Months later, the Star Moth drifted near a nebula, its hull patched but holding. Kale laughed as Elias taught him piloting basics, while Vera watched, a rare smile on his lips. Elias had started this journey alone, drowning in regret. Now he had a family, a son who adored him, and a partner who understood loss as deeply as he did. As Vera's hand brushed his, Elias realized something unexpected. In saving them, he had saved himself. Epilogue: A New Dawn. The Star Moth hummed softly as it drifted through the outer rim of the Helios Nebula, its engines set to a quiet idle. The swirling colors of cosmic dust painted the viewport in hues of violet and gold, casting an ethereal glow across the ship's interior. Elias leaned back in the pilot's chair, his boots propped up on the console. Kale sat beside him, small hands gripping the flight stick with exaggerated seriousness as he pretended to steer. "We're gonna be pirates," the boy declared, grinning. Elias chuckled. "Nah, kid. Pirates are the bad guys. We're something else." "Heroes?" Kale asked, tilting his head. Elias hesitated. He didn't feel like a hero. Heroes didn't lose crews. Heroes didn't drink themselves into oblivion over regrets. But then again, heroes also didn't risk everything to save a child they'd never met. "We're survivors," he said finally. "And that's enough." A shadow fell across the cockpit as Vera stepped in, carrying a steaming cup of sinsif. He handed it to Elias, their fingers brushing just long enough to send a quiet thrill through Elias' chest. "The comms array is repaired," Vera said. "We can reach the Xyrian remnant fleet now." Elias took a sip, the bitter warmth grounding him. "You sure you want to do that? Once we make contact, there's no going back. They'll want you to lead them." Vera's gaze flickered to Kale, then back to Elias. "I have a responsibility to my people, but I also have one to him. And to you." The unspoken words hung between them. Elias exhaled. "Then we do it together." The transmission. The Xyrian resistance responded within hours. A warship, sleek and deadly, emerged from the nebula's edge, its hull marked with the sigil of the Free Xyrian clans. A holographic figure flickered to life on the Star Moth's bridge, an elder with silver-streaked hair and piercing violet eyes. "Vera," the elder breathed. "We thought you were lost." Vera straightened. "Lysara saved me. She saved us all." The elder's expression darkened at the mention of her name, but then Kale darted forward, peering at the hologram. "Are you my grandpa?" he asked. Stunned silence. Then slowly the elder smiled. "Yes, little one. I am. A home among the stars." The Xyrian fleet welcomed them as family. Vera was reinstated as a commander, but he refused to take his place without Elias by his side. "You are part of this now," Varrow told him one night as they stood on the warship's observation deck, watching the stars streak by in hyperspace. Elias smirked. "What, like an honorary Xyrian?" Varrow stepped closer. "Like my Xyrian." Elias didn't know the word, but the way Varrow said it, soft rever,